So today we're going to talk about weighing yourself on the scales, should you be doing it, and if so, how you can do it so that you're not setting yourself up for failure. Now, nowadays, with magazines, the media, with like kind of slimming clubs and the way they're all set up, we're almost programmed to look at our weight in terms of what we want to achieve, and we use that to set goals for what we want to achieve in the gym. So people often go, "Oh yeah, I want to lose about 2 stone," or "I feel I've got a couple of stone that I need to lose," or "I feel like my fighting weight is like 13.5 stone, so I want to get back down to that again." Now, this is the first place where people set themselves up for failure, setting their goals off weight alone, because you have no direct control over A, how fast your body loses fat, and therefore how fast the scales go down, and 2, what your weight is going to be. So, for example, your weight is just your relationship with the ground. It's how much gravity is pulling on you. So it doesn't take into account your body's composition, so how much muscle, bone, fat, water, things like that you're made up of. So for example, if I take my weight, it doesn't tell me if I'm lean. So if I take my weight against my height and work out my BMI, mine brings me out around about overweight, borderline obese, which I like to think probably isn't the case. So the problem that a lot of people get into is, early on they might see weight loss, but then they don't see as much as they think, so they start to get frustrated and eventually give up. Or they expect linear progress, a little bit like this. So day one, they're up here and they're thinking, I want to lose 2 stone, and they expect it to go in a straight line like this down to their goal weight. And that's one of the problems with slimming clubs, is people go into that, they weigh themselves and go, right, I'm whatever, I want to lose 2 stone, and then they expect to see linear progress week after week after week after week, and so they get down there. And then when that doesn't happen, they get frustrated and then they give up again. So as we've just spoken about, you don't have direct control over your weight and weight loss because it's affected by so many different things. So things like, what time of day are you weighing yourself? Are you doing it on the same sets of scales? Things like that. Have you had a big meal the night before? So you could potentially have more food sitting in your stomach. Was there a lot of carbohydrate in that meal, or how hydrated are you? Could you be holding on to excess water? So that could be affecting the weight on the scales. Ladies, what time of the month is it? It's your period, and whereabouts you are, and that is going to affect the weight on the scales. There are loads of different things that are going to cause these daily fluctuations. So one of the problems people have with only looking at weight loss and expecting to see this linear progression is that they're often disappointed when it actually moves more like this. There are daily fluctuations, so they look at day 1, week 1, and then expect to see day 1, week 2, a lower weight, day 1, week 3, weight loss again, day 1, week 4, weight loss again. And then early on, this might happen because they're sort of cleaning up their diet, for want of a better term. They've probably got less food knocking around their stomach, they're holding on to less water, so therefore they see consistent weight loss early on. But then when this plateaus, but they still feel like they're being really good with their diet, they still feel like they're training a lot, but they're not necessarily seeing progress on the scales. So I think kind of slimming club, where they're weighing each week, but they're not seeing weight loss, they get frustrated, and then they give up again. So this isn't going to be you. Here's how you can do it to make sure that it doesn't start playing with your head, it doesn't start demotivating you, and doesn't cause you to give up again. So the first thing you're going to do, as we've just spoken about, is not look at things in isolation. We're not going to look at your weight in isolation. We're going to look at it alongside circumference measures, and we're going to look at it alongside pictures, because even if the weight on the scales isn't moving, if you're putting a tape measure around your middle, or you're checking your belt and your belt's going in, or the tape measure's going in, and you're losing like centimetres from around there, you know that you're in a calorie deficit and that you're losing fat. The scales just maybe aren't showing it. If you can look at pictures, kind of front, side, back, and you can see a difference in the way you're looking, you're losing fat, and therefore it doesn't really matter what the scales say at the end of the day. Number 2, you're not going to expect linear weight loss like this, and you're not going to look at day to day, or even potentially week to week. If you're going to weigh yourself, you're going to weigh yourself first thing in the morning. You're going to do it on the same set of scales in the same place. So get up in the morning, first Monday of the month, go to the toilet, get on the scales in the bathroom, take your weight. Then first Monday the next month, probably 4 weeks later, get up in the morning, go to the toilet, get on the scales, check your weight again. And then you're going to look to compare month on month. The same day, you're also going to do your measures so that you can get a bigger picture and you can start to then look at what you need to do with your diet. The other way you can do it with your weight is that you weigh yourself every day, but you understand that there are going to be daily fluctuations and therefore you take an average for the week. So you might get on the first day and you might be, say, 180 pounds, next day 181, next day 178, and so on, and you're going to take your average weight for that week. At the end of 4 weeks, you're then going to look at what that trend has done. So if you've got your average for each week, has the trend gone down? If it has, perfect, because your circumference measures and things should have gone down as well, you're losing fat. If it's stayed the same, and your circumference measures and things have stayed the same, you're probably eating around about maintenance, and therefore it just gives you feedback to know I need to be a bit tighter with my diet, or I need to increase my training volume so that I can create that calorie deficit again. If you're gaining weight, you know that you're way off it, and certainly if your circumference measures aren't going anywhere, you know that you're way off it and you need to really sort things out with your diet. So the final thing to say, and I really want to emphasize this, is whatever your weight is doing, if you're tracking it, it's just data and then feedback for you to be able to make changes or make informed decisions on what you're doing with your diet and what you're doing with your training. So do you need to tighten up with your diet? Can you relax things a little bit with your diet? Or do you need to spend more time in the gym or getting your steps up so that you're increasing your calorie expenditure and building that calorie deficit? Or are you losing weight too quick and you can afford to eat a little bit more food and relax a little bit? It is just data and it doesn't affect anything else. So expect to see weight going more like this. So daily fluctuations, then look at it either every month or every day and take the average for each week and then look at the trends month on month and make sure you're looking at it alongside other measures so that you're getting a full picture of your progress. Okay? Hopefully that helps you.